Okay, so we are going to talk about triangles, and we are going to come up with some more definitions. And my guess would be that most of you are familiar with these already. And so again, I would encourage you to write down the ones that you don't know. But if you already know it, then you don't need to probably write it down. Okay? So, first of all, I have triangle on the board.
It's a right triangle.
What? Who said it?
I did.
Okay, he's on a roll today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and this triangle is a right triangle. Okay? Yeah, how cool was that, huh?
I think it's an isosceles triangle.
Okay, well, let's define right triangle first. What would you say the definition of a right triangle is?
Has a 90-degree angle.
Okay, a triangle, and I'm going to use the little triangle symbol instead of the word because I'm lazy. Okay, a triangle with a 90-degree angle. All right. Okay, now someone brought up the idea of, is this an isosceles triangle? We haven't talked about isosceles triangles yet. And we will in a second. How would you be able to tell if it was? It has to have two equal sides, right? How would the sides have to be labeled for us to know? Have the little marks on it, or to be labeled with the lengths. Does it have marks on it?
No.
Is it labeled with the lengths? Is it an isosceles triangle? No. It could be, but we can't assume that it is. Okay? So all we get out of this one is that it's a right triangle, which is a triangle with a 90-degree angle. Okay? All right, let's take a look at another one. Raise your hand, please. Jake. That is an obtuse triangle. Let's see, reveal the answer and see if he is correct. He is correct. That is an obtuse triangle. What about that triangle makes it an obtuse triangle, McGuire? Okay, so a right triangle has one right angle. An obtuse triangle is a triangle with one obtuse.
What is obtuse?
That was a vocabulary word that should be on your graphic organizer from the other day. What does obtuse mean? Oh no, we did those as a group last Friday. What does obtuse mean? Greater than 90, but less than 180. Okay? So an obtuse triangle is a triangle with an angle that's bigger than 90, but less than 180. Matt? Everything okay? Is he going to be all right? Okay. Jake?
So, if you have an angle that way, no, the highest point, but 180, and then like there's the other two ones, like the highest possible number.
So are you saying, could we have more than one obtuse angle?
No, like if you made a triangle with like
179.9 degrees?
more than that.
179.99999 degrees?
Yeah.
Could I make a triangle out of that?
Infinity point.
Technically, yes. Okay? Right. Mathematically, you could do it. Okay. Could I physically draw that?
Yes.
Probably not. Okay. But technically speaking, then you would be able to, yeah, because as long as there's a little tiny bend, right, you can connect those dots and you'll get a triangle. Okay. So you could supposedly. All right. How about this one right here? We did right. We did obtuse. So this is acute. Okay. This is, oh, where'd you go? There you are. Okay, that is an acute triangle. Okay, what is the definition of an acute triangle? Okay, Alex will just jump in and say, in this case, we're going to say all angles are less than 90 degrees, okay? And this little symbol right here means angle. Just draw a little angle. So we can start to save ourselves some time, save ourselves some space by using symbols that instead of writing out the whole words, all right? Okay, so those are the three different kinds of triangles you can have based on their angle measures. You can have a right triangle, an obtuse triangle, or an acute triangle. We can also classify triangles based on the measures of their sides. So what is this? This is a scalene triangle. Do you have to say it like that?
Yes.
Okay, yes, you're right. So this is a scalene triangle. What makes this a scalene triangle? Alex, since he raised his hand.
Both sides are the same, right?
What did you say?
Both sides
Okay, no sides the same length. All right, so if they're all different, then you have a scalene triangle. Okay, everybody got that?
Yes.
All right. Guess you can guess what's next. Oh, we skipped one. That's okay. What's this called? What? Equilateral triangle. So that's in there somewhere. Equilateral triangle. And what? Yes, very good. An equilateral triangle is also an acute triangle, and so you can mix and match these a little bit. Okay, you can classify them by both their sides and their angles if you want to. Very good. So an equilateral is also an acute triangle, but most importantly, what's true about an equilateral triangle? All sides
Equals 60.
are the same. Okay, the sides don't equal 60 degrees. What equals 60 degrees? The angles equal 60 degrees, but we haven't really talked about that yet, okay? So for right now, all we're going to do is just assume that if it's an equilateral triangle, all the sides are the same, okay? All right, and then there is one last kind of triangle. What is this one? That is an isosceles triangle. Okay, and that is a funny one to spell. What is an isosceles triangle?
Two sides are the same.
Two
You're a genius, man.
sides are the same. Okay? So you can go by the angles, or you can go by the sides, okay? And so, like you said, a equilateral triangle is also an acute triangle. What kind of triangle does this isosceles triangle appear to be if you measure by its angles? That one's also an acute, so you could say it's an acute isosceles. Could you have an obtuse isosceles?
Yes.
Yes, if I just took these two sides and left them the same length and tweaked them way out so that angle was bigger than 90 degrees, I would still have an isosceles triangle, but now it would be obtuse. Can I have a right isosceles triangle?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
No? Yes? No?
Show me an example.
What do I need? What do I need for a right triangle?
Right
I need a
angle.
90-degree angle.
That's it.
And what do I need for an isosceles triangle?
Two sides the same.
Two sides the same. So if those two sides are the same and they form a right angle, if I
I said it could. No, I was-
connect the dots, then I have an isosceles right triangle. So some of these you can mix and match. Some of them you can't. Can I have an equilateral right triangle?
No.
No, because as most of you understand, this one right here is going to be longer than those two if there's a right angle in there. So some of them you're not going to be able to do, but some of them you can. Okay? All right, so any questions about the exciting world of triangles? Okay, one thing that I sort of glossed over, isosceles triangle has some fun parts to it. These things right here are called the base angles. Right there and there. Okay? And this guy right here is called the vertex angle. Okay? So the two angles that are down on the bottom by the congruent sides are base angles. The angle that's in between the congruent sides is the vertex angle. And this is going to come as a big shocker. This down here is called the base.
Wow.
And these right here are called the
Legs.
legs. Okay, so isosceles triangles have some fun pieces.
Assignment, senior
Okay.
assignment. We have an
I don't speak
assignment after all
Spanish.
that.
Sí, claro. I siempre un assignment. Wait, that's not right. Nope, that's the wrong class. Mr. whatever your name is.
No, I paused for dramatic effect.
Thank you, Mr. Owens, as well. It was a great lesson.